Good Monday makers, and welcome back to another episode of our weekly build showcase series that we call Maker Pipe Monday. This week we're going to be looking at a ton of different holiday decor and light shows made with EMT conduit and Maker Pipe fittings. We've got some great ones from the community to hopefully inspire you and give you some ideas if you're looking to decorate this holiday season. First up, we've got a build from Raymond, and he said he first conceived this idea about 4 years ago. He said he's not afraid of heights, but he has a healthy respect for gravity. And he's got these lights that he wanted to suspend around his window frame. And as you can see, he's got this wider shot here. It's about 10 or 15 feet up. And normally he's got to climb a ladder to get up here to hang these lights. And he wanted to look for and design a frame that he could actually just basically be lower and secure it to the house. So it needed to be lightweight. And he started making it with PVC. That was the initial design, with PVC. And then he used 1/2-inch conduit inside of PVC to add some rigidity. He said that was kind of a mess. It was too heavy and didn't really work like he wanted to. So we went back to the drawing board, and that's when he found Maker Pipe fittings. So you can see it's 1/2-inch EMT for the whole frame. And then he's got Maker Pipe fittings, looks like a lot of T connectors and 45-degree connectors. And then he's got this lightweight frame because he used 1/2-inch conduit, and the lights are just attached directly to it. And then he can secure it to the house. And as you can see, there it is, all lit up. It looks great, so he's happy with the result. And after long last of 4 years of designing, he's able to get this holiday lights up around his window that he's happy with. It looks great. Thanks so much, Raymond. We're so glad it worked out for you. Next up is something that was shared recently by Catherine, and she shared it with us, and I put it on the community, and we appreciate her sending that in because this gingerbread house, I mean, it looks good enough to eat. It looks like a real gingerbread house. And we don't really have any shots of the inside framework, but it looks like the bottom section here is made out of wood, and I'm going to guess that she actually drilled maybe into the wood and then used conduit to kind of build the framework for the actual gingerbread house that holds all of this stuff on the outside. It's got paper, I would imagine, it looks like paper or paper mache kind of thing on the framework to kind of give it the look of the gingerbread house. But she did an amazing job with it. It, like I said, looks good enough to eat, and it's even got lights, and it looks awesome. This is what it looks like when it's all lit up at night. That's a great build. Thanks so much, Catherine, for sharing that with us. Next up is a full-on holiday light show that Claudio shared through email. And they used Maker Pipe and conduit throughout this entire setup. It looks amazing, all lit up. They've got the American flag, it looks like projected onto the garage door, and then they've got all of the lights synced. But they actually used Maker Pipe on the roof for a few different things. So again, they used 1/2-inch conduit, which is a pretty good material to use in this kind of scenario as long as you brace it accordingly. Because these lights and this kind of plastic material that makes up the decorations usually isn't too heavy, so you can get away with 1/2-inch EMT conduit. And it looks like they made the frame actually one long span across the roof. We'll look at the next picture and see, but I think it goes from one side to the other, and then off of it they just got 1/2-inch branched off, and they just made frames to hold the plastic pieces and the lights on there. And then they've got sandbags actually holding it in place on the roof, which is a good solution because you don't have to drill into the roof or do something to actually, damage the roof by putting these or drilling into the roof to secure the frame. It looks like they made one long span, like I was saying, and then they branched off with the decorations. And it looks like a great solution. Here's a shot of those two decorations we just looked at on the ground when they were building. And I would imagine this is great for flat packing. It looks like they've just rotated and actually made this where it can be flat packed and stored in the garage until next year, which is another great solution and a great idea. And then also in the yard, they've got I want to say this is a Christmas tree, maybe a round Christmas tree or something, but they've actually got the conduit staked into the ground, which is another great idea and a great hack to secure that in the ground. But all of that together, and you get this amazing light show that's all lit up. It looks fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing that one with us. Next up is a light tunnel from Mike and Jeff. Now, I think they set up a holiday light show every year, and this was something they shared with us that they actually did a part of I think it's a walking trail that has holiday light shows. I don't know if you've seen those or have those in your area, but they have holiday light shows that you can walk through. And a part of this one is this LED light tunnel. Here it is all lit up. They sent us this video, which we appreciate. So you can really kind of see everything in action. And look at that. That is awesome. I mean, they've just got a ton of LEDs in there, and it's mesmerizing. I bet it's really cool to walk through. But they basically just built this frame with conduit and T connectors. As you can see, they've got some photos they shared here. And I would imagine they kind of did this design all the way throughout and then just connected them all together. And they just used T-connectors and some conduit that looks like they either spray painted maybe, or they used the shrink wrap, the black shrink wrap on there. But either way, it looks amazing, and I'm pretty sure they did just a bunch of those T-connector panels, just a bunch of these all lined up side by side, and then that gave them the frame they could string the lights on, and it looks truly awesome. So thanks so much, Mike and Jeff, for sharing that and building that. That is really cool. Next up is a Christmas tree shared by Bruce. Now this is really cool because they bent conduit into a circle and then kind of kept going up with it. So they bent the conduit into a circle down here and then went up another tier, and then I think it goes up one more to the top, or maybe it just goes to a point at the top. Yeah, it looks like it just goes to the point. And they just use T-connectors to connect up to each tier. And this is a great hack and a great idea because a lot of people don't know the T-connectors can be swiveled to make different angles like this. So they've just got the T-connector facing down, and then they just have it go into the next tier, and it's tilted just a little bit. And that's a great solution and a great idea. I'm glad they did that in this build so we could talk about it. And then it looks like they've got these plastic markers, maybe those plastic yard markers. Not entirely sure what that is, but they've got that attached to the framework with zip ties, it looks like, and that allows them to string up the lights to it. And then once you have the lights on there, they used a device called a pixel blaze, and that allowed them to program the lights for the Christmas tree. And here's a shot and video of it all lit up, and that looks really cool. Thanks so much, Bruce, for sharing that. That turned out awesome. Really happy to see it. Next up is a build from Harold. And actually, it's not one build, it's multiple builds. He said he's working on a Christmas light show, which he finds to be an interesting hobby. I think it's a fascinating hobby that you're able to kind of design and build this full-on light show, and then that you can synchronize the lights. It's really cool hobby. But he said that he used these to kind of build different things throughout his light show. He's got a Christmas tree here. It looks like he did a little bit of a different approach. Instead of bending the conduit, it looks like that plastic fencing you can get for garden beds. If I could be way off there, but that's what that looks like. And then he just made kind of a cross brace here at the bottom that will keep the plastic in a round shape. And then from there, he was able to just build off and string the lights from the top. And I wonder if there's I think there might be a vertical piece of conduit maybe from the middle here, maybe using a 5-way connector in the middle that goes up, and that allows him to string the lights off of it. That's another great Christmas tree design. He's also got these really cool looking spirals that have, I think there's 2 pieces of conduit there, or sorry, yeah, 2 pieces of conduit, one staked in the ground, maybe both of them are, and then just, straight up one vertical pipe. And then he's got these plastic pieces with the lights spiraling down. Looks like he's got several of those in the light show. Those look really cool. And then here he's got these kind of like archways, and he looks like 2 T-connectors to connect a horizontal pipe, and then he just bent a piece of conduit, or maybe it kind of looks like PVC, but PVC or EMT conduit just bent from one side to the other, and then he's got the lights attached to it, and it just looks really awesome. And here's another one. It looks like this one's farther back in his garden bed, but he's got 2 verticals, and then he's got some 180s here to do a cross pipe, and then some bracing with T-connectors. And he's actually got this one, I would imagine, staked in the ground, and then he's got some rope kind of tied and holding it back, which is a good safety precaution. Never be too secure. Then he's got the actual plastic circle and the lights all built into it, and another awesome part of his display. But all in all, it's really cool. We'd love to see a photo of everything all together. If you have a hero shot or if you have a video or something you want to share, we'd love to see that. Thanks so much, Harold, for posting that review. We love seeing it. And next up is a light show, a family light show from the Tell family. Jeff was looking for a way to minimize the holes they were putting in the house, which makes a lot of sense because some of these larger displays, and if you look at this photo, if he wanted these attached, he might have to use some heavy-duty command strips or, figure out some way to attach these lights and all of these panels and everything here onto their house. You have to mount it somehow, and the traditional way would be to, drill into the house or put holes in the house to secure it properly. But instead, what he did was used EMT conduit where he could to build framework that would allow him to mount stuff without having to drill holes or damage the house in any way. So you can see he's got this framework that was, he customized the size to fit perfectly in the garage opening. And then from there, he was able to just branch off and add conduit wherever he wanted to secure the lights and the plastic pieces there. And that's really great. And here on the roof, or sorry, not the roof, on the porch, they did something very similar because, otherwise, like I was saying, you'd have to drill into the house or into the banister here. But instead, he made this kind of lean-to framework that is tied off, and it just allows them to mount these panels without having to drill into the house. And there's a couple of great solutions. We're really glad that he shared that. And he also shared a link to their video here. And you got to see this. This is really cool. You don't know the power of the dark side. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. The fact that you can synchronize it and then it goes to a radio station and it's linked to the radio station is just really amazing that you can do that. But here it is, all lit up. This is the Tell Family Lights, and you can see their website there, tellfamilylights.com, and they've got a great YouTube channel. But thanks so much, Jeffrey, for sharing that with us. We love seeing it. It's a really great light show, and thanks for sharing your solutions. That's all the builds and holiday light shows I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed these as much as I did. Hopefully they gave you some ideas for some different decorations you can make for your house. We also have a blog with these if you want to see that. It's linked down below. If you need any help designing a project or working on something, definitely let us know. We're here and happy to help. Thanks so much, everybody. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.